Hello everyone, welcome to Crypto Deli, my weekly show where we discuss all things about crypto. So this week, obviously, it's about Bitcoin. After touching the all-time high, which is 40K, and creating new all-time highs, Bitcoin's a little down, but in the longer run, it's supposed to be good in the longer run, and it's supposed to turn into a more bullish trend. Yeah, and obviously 2021 has started with a bang. In terms of the total crypto market cap has reached 1 trillion, and the Bitcoin price has obviously touched 40K, um, and even Ethereum is more than 70%, increased more than 70% in the last month or so. So everything is really bullish, and 2021 has started with a bang, obviously, and 2021 is going to be very crucial because we know COVID hit us in 2020, and there was like a boom in terms of digitization. There was so much innovation. People were looking for alternatives when it comes to digitizing the environment, and especially in the financial ecosystem. Digital assets, have always have already been established as something that could change the financial infrastructure, of in the world, and especially in the emerging economies. So obviously, it's been really great, and 2021 is supposedly, based on the trends, based on some of the predictions, obviously based on the bullish, last month and a half, and the kind of trend, DeFi, stable coins, CBDCs, and all of this has come in. It's really going to be very exciting 2021 for us. As I said, Bitcoin continues to touch all time highs, while Ethereum is also on the move and reaching prices that we have never seen since January 2018. Also, we talked about it last week. The OCC says the banks are free to use stablecoins for payments and other activities, which is again a huge step towards the mainstream digital adoption of cryptocurrencies. And also, there've been a lot of anticipation on how Ethereum is gonna scale up things and how it's gonna keep up with the scalability aspect, which is really in question, which has always been in question. And the founder of Ethereum has published a guide, and to rollups on Ethereum. That is kind of a excuse me. That is kind of a must read for everyone who's interested in the scalability aspect of Ethereum, right? And coming in from India, obviously, even the Indian industry and Indian crypto industry has seen a lot of growth in 2020, and it's kind of proved that the country is ready for the adoption for digital asset adoption overall, and also for blockchain technology for good. Be it about turning the infrastructure in the financial space, or be it about a lot of the admin infrastructure, government infrastructure, technology, blockchain technology could really be something really special for the country. And but however, there's been concerns on how the regulatory landscape would look like, and since the numbers, the crypto volumes have been so high and so progressive in 2020, since 2020, obviously, there is an industry-wide demand in terms of how to look at the regulatory landscape, what's allowed, what's legal, what's not legal, how can we stop things that we don't want to happen, and so that which could really bring a complete blanket ban. So industry is really demanding a regulatory landscape. Also, obviously, when Bitcoin was surging 40K, there was a lot of demand, and that has led to suspension. I mean, Indian exchanges had actually suspended a few accounts during that time because they were looking suspicious. So this is another point on why regulation is really really important. If um, we want true benefits from the cryptocurrency and the blockchain technology. It's really important that we get the regulation right. Also, India lacks formal KYC procedures, rules, and exchange platforms for cryptocurrency, and hence exchanges are devising and revising their own rules. But it would be obviously better if it is in adherence with the government laws and regulations. Um, as I said, total crypto market reaches 1 trillion, which is the market cap of Alibaba, Tesla, these companies. So it's a huge thing, and this happened on first time last Wednesday with Bitcoin soaring to 40K. Obviously, we all know about it, and a lot of analysts around have predicted that in the long run, especially an analyst from JP Morgan has predicted that in the longer run, Bitcoin price could reach as high as 146K US dollars. But when they're saying that the king of crypto is kind of competing with gold for investment flows. And obviously, number two, Ethereum is even better and has surpassed $1,200, a price level not seen since Jan 2018. So it's a huge bump there as well. And obviously, a lot of companies have released a 2020 roundup, a 2020 wrap up, because I think the year will not 2020 would be really incomplete without a wrap up, and not just one wrap up. In fact, wrap up from various people, various influencers, various organizations who have their own perspective on the industry and on these coins. And even we released a wrap up article which is published on the papers, and it's written by our CMO Marie, and I really would say that all of you should check that out, and a copy of it is also published on Cointelegraph Spanish. So I would really recommend you check it out. And also, and there's another piece that I really liked when it comes to summarizing the 2020 trends, which has been released by the blog. And it's also mentioned how cryptocurrency exchanges have been seeing a lot of traffic, and with total visits in December alone reaching 196 million, up from 79 million. A year 1 year prior to December. So it's a huge bump obviously there. And talking about OCC banks, OCC saying that banks could use stable coins, and the OCC is basically the office of the controller of the currency, and they published a letter that it's regulated banks may use stablecoins for payments and other activities, and they can also participate in blockchain networks, which is a huge it's a great deal for the mainstream adoption in crypto, obviously. Also, Vitalik breaks down rollups, and scalability has obviously, as I said, has been a big issue, of which Ethereum has been facing. A lot of people do question it, and ever since inception, this has been the big question always. And more urgently, since 2017, it's been even a bigger concern, than what it was before that, because obviously crypto has taken a huge jump since 2017, and especially in 2017 and in 2020. Also, last week, the Ethereum creator Vitalik published a post explaining the differences between the three major types of layer 2 scaling currently available, which is channels, plasma, and rollups. But he also did a deep dive and an explanation on rollups to explain why they're poised to be the key scalability solution for Ethereum in the coming days, or in the coming months, in the near future. and there is also a detailed explanation of the two different types of rollups, which is the optimistic rollups and the ZK rollups, including a diagram and a chart showing it, the trade-offs between the two categories, and how much scaling can we really expect to actually receive these rollups. And Vitalik's take is, in the short term, very optimistic rollups, and obviously optimistic rollups are likely to win for the general purpose EVM computation, and the ZK rollups are likely to win for the simple payments and those kind of things, and exchanges and other applications, and obviously specific use cases that are coming in. But in the medium to long term, ZK rollups will win in all these cases, is what he says in the paper. So do check that out, whoever is really interested in knowing how Ethereum is going to scale the network in the coming months. And obviously covering the GOP 2020 review, obviously everyone published a review. We also did, and this one's been interesting, which I was reading. They have highlighted what it calls the 10 developments, which kind of solidified the industry in 2020. And obviously, it starts with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and taking the market value to 500 billion. Bitcoin's market value has obviously reached $500 billion. And the emergence of stablecoins has also been a talking point, and the critical infrastructure and the rise of DeFi, retail and merchants accessing crypto with PayPal, Square, and all the institutional interests pouring in. And it's a good comprehensive look overall, looking at the major trends that happened in 2020, and it also focuses a bit on regulation, which probably could be a big driver in 2021, and a lot of economies and countries could put proper infrastructure around regulation, which could really fast track the adoption of cryptocurrencies in 2021. Another very important thing that I came across is that South Korea will be introducing a 20% tax on crypto trading profits in 2023, and I think one more. Even India is putting an 18% tax on Bitcoin trading, but that's still in plans. But South Korea has announced that they're going to be putting this tax bucket for crypto trading in 2023, and the proposal would introduce a variety of additional taxes on profits with a really progressive taxation schedule for gains in stocks, and for crypto holders, anyone making an annual income of more than $2,300 will be taxed at 20%, and the threshold is lower than stocks, where only gains of over 46K will be taxed at 20%. For cryptocurrencies owned before the beginning of the tax schedule, the authorities will deem the highest of either of the market value immediately before 2023 or the actual acquisition price to tax them. Bitcoin is now more worth more than a 20-ounce gold bar. Obviously, Bitcoin has been competing with gold in terms of the features and the promises that it brings in the overall longer run. And obviously, it recently topped 40K, and it became more valuable than 20 ounces of gold. And Bitcoin's huge price rise is showing no signs of slowing down, and obviously it's slowed down now, but predictions are that it's even better for the long term. In the long term, it's going to be even better, and it's going to rise even faster, and its latest all-time high has priced the asset higher than a 20-ounce gold bar, which was last week, obviously. And Bitcoin price, which topped 40K, and the move has further is kind of really further added to the overall promise that the cryptocurrencies bring to the table, and how they are likely to progress in 2021. Also, it's kind of crazy in crypto markets and DeFi, where DeFi borrowers are feeling the pain as liquidations are really spiking a lot, and the liquidation volumes have jumped to $14 million on Jan 10th, and it's almost like tripling from the previous day, and it's also highest since November. But it's not just the DeFi; it's also the overall Bitcoin liquidations have also increased with massive 1.4 billion US dollars worth of Bitcoin being liquidated over a 24-hour period, right? So that's about it. And this week it was obviously mostly about um, the dip in the Bitcoin price after it touched the all-time high. And I know after that happened, a lot of exchanges were down, but we've been operating really really seamlessly, and there's been no um, actual down period for Gate at all. So yeah, we want to be running all our services uninterruptedly for all of you, and we hope you're enjoying it. And yeah, let's meet next week with more news and more progressive and exciting updates from around the world in Asia. Bye bye.